We are getting into the panel discussion on public Wi-Fi infrastructure for inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, this session will focus on how public Wi-Fi infrastructure can become a meaningful pillar of digital inclusion and how policy, technology, innovation, business models, and community-led deployment can work together to connect the unconnected. Exactly what we were discussing at the end of the previous session. And may I now invite our chair, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Gupta, to kindly grace the stage. ITS DDG Special Projects Digital Bharat Nidhi, Department of Telecommunications. Inviting our distinguished moderator, Mr. Debashish Bhattacharya, Additional Director General BIF. Also inviting our eminent panelist, Mr. Harmeet Singh Hora, Head of Product, WIOM. Mr. Rishi Ghare, Founder and CEO, Indeo Networks. Warm welcome, sir. Dr. S.N. Gupta, Executive Chairman, Blue Town India and BIMSTEC South Asia. Inviting Mr. Vivek Narayan, retired DDG Department of Telecommunications and presently the Professor of Practice. And Mr. Srinivas Gudipudi, Founder and CEO, Matricom. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now all set to move ahead with the proceedings of the panel discussion. The theme of the session is Public Wi-Fi Infrastructure for Inclusion. This session will focus on how public Wi-Fi infrastructure can become a meaningful pillar of digital inclusion and how policy, technology, innovation, business models, and community-led deployment can work together to connect the unconnected. So while we are awaiting for the chair of the session to join us, who is Dr. Mukesh Gupta. He's ITS DDG Special Projects, Digital Bharat Nidhi, Department of Telecommunications, who brings rich experience in India's telecommunication and digital infrastructure ecosystem. His work with Digital Bharat Nidhi is closely aligned with the national objective of expanding connectivity and supporting digital inclusion across underserved and remote areas. Our distinguished moderator, Mr. Bhattacharya, has been actively associated with BIF's initiatives in promoting broadband-led digital transformation and facilitating dialogue between the government, industry, technology stakeholders, and the larger digital ecosystem. Our panelist, Mr. Harmeet Singh Hora, who's head of product WIOM, has been working on innovative models for affordable and accessible internet connectivity and brings valuable products and technology experience in designing solutions that can make broadband access more user-friendly, scalable, and inclusive. Mr. Rishi Ghare is founder and CEO of Indeo Networks. Indeo Networks has been associated with Wi-Fi solutions, hotspot platforms, cloud-managed networks, and connectivity deployments across different environments. And he brings an entrepreneurial and technology perspective on how public Wi-Fi infrastructure can be deployed. We are honored to have with us Dr. S.N. Gupta, Executive Chairman, Blue Town India and BIMSTEC South Asia. Mr. Gupta brings extensive experience in the telecom and broadband sector with a strong focus on rural connectivity, digital inclusion, and community-focused broadband solutions. We have with us Mr. Vivek Narayan, retired DDG, Department of Telecommunication, who brings deep institutional experience from the Department of Telecommunications, along with an academic, policy-oriented perspective as Professor of Practice. And we also have with us Mr. Srinivas Gudipudi, who's founder and CEO of Matricom. And with those words of introduction, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to hand over to our distinguished moderator, Mr. Debashish Bhattacharya, to kindly carry forward the proceedings of the session. A gentle reminder, sir, the time duration is 1 hour for this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we put a timer for 60 minutes here? Thank you.
Did you say the time is 1 hour? 1 hour 50. Okay. Thank you. To begin with, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion, which is on the subject of public Wi-Fi infrastructure for inclusion. I have the pleasure of first requesting our session chair, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Gupta, DDG Special Projects, Digital Bharat Nidhi, DOT, to kindly give the opening remarks and setting the context. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank Broadband India Forum for inviting me on the occasion of World Wi-Fi Day celebrations and to be a part of the discussion on the theme Public Wi-Fi Infrastructure for Inclusion. India has witnessed one of the most remarkable digital transformations among the world. From 25 crore broadband connections in 2014, we have risen to more than 100 crore connections as on day. 42 crores are in rural segment. This includes 94 crores mobile broadband connections and 6 crore fixed line, of which 4.5 crores are on FTTH and 1.5 crores through FWA. The infrastructure today is no longer limited to roads, ports, power grids, etc. Now the infrastructure is digital. United Nations defines digital public infrastructure as a set of foundational digital systems that form the backbone of modern societies. These systems enable secure and seamless interaction between the people, business, and the government. For digital infrastructure to deliver public value, it must be inclusive, interoperable, and governed with the public interest. India's DPI is expanding rapidly, driven by the widespread adoption of the JAM Trinity and digital payments. DigiLocker has reached more than 62 crore registered users, whereas digital payments in the month of January 2026 was rupees 28.33 lakh crores from 2,170 transactions. This is the scale of DPI in India. The DPI has matured into a comprehensive, interoperable architecture that underpins economic activity, public service delivery, and institutional capacity. India is taking our DPI model through MOU to 23 countries. So at the heart of the digital transformation is the telecom connectivity, which enables availability and accessibility of telecom services in the far rural and remote areas of the country. The availability of the services, digital services, have led to the data rate of around 9 rupees per GB, which is one of the lowest in the world. So this led to the expansion of the digital ecosystem and enablement of digital services and its access to education, healthcare, financial services, good governance, entrepreneurship, and employment opportunities today. The Department of Telecom for telecom connectivity is provided through DBN project, Digital Bharat projects. There are mainly three major projects: the BharatNet, mobile projects, and the island projects. BharatNet has been implemented in phases. Under phase 1 and 2, around 7 lakh kilometers of optical fiber was laid. 1.2 lakh fiber kilometer and 2.65 Gbps bandwidth has been leased from the existing network, and 254 petabyte data is used monthly. So this makes the average data consumption of 190 GB per FTTS customer in the rural areas also. So we can see there is a demand for rural FTTS connections also. There are around 11 mobile projects for the 4G with 4G technology. More than 24,500 towers are on air, covering around 33,000 villages. These projects have facilitated 30 lakh subscribers to use mobile data, and the monthly data consumption is around 70 petabytes per month. The average data usage per subscriber through these towers is around 24.3 GB per month, so which is slightly less than the national average, but rural internet demand exists, both in the fixed line segment as well as in the mobile segment. The third category is the island projects. So both the islands, Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep, have been connected through submarine optical fiber connectivity through DBN projects. Earlier, the connectivity was on satellite. The bandwidth in Andaman has been increased from 4 Gbps to 151 Gbps, and Lakshadweep from 1.71 Gbps to 49 Gbps with these projects. So with the completion of these two projects, both the islands are having around more than 7,000 FTTS subscribers, and this has also led to provision of 4G and 5G services in both the islands. The last third phase of the BharatNet is the amended BharatNet program, which is ongoing as on date. The amended BharatNet aims to connect all the 2.65 lakh gram panchayats on optical fiber through ring. And it also has provision to connect on-demand non-GP villages, which is around 3.84 lakh on demand. So this will be done through laying of optical fiber cable of more than 8 lakh kilometers. And this program aims not to leave any village wherever broadband demand is there to be uncovered. Besides, for utilization, there is a provision for 1.5 crore FTTH connections through BharatNet within a period of 5 years, for which the capital subsidy is provided through Digital Bharat Nidhi. So utilization is also linked along with the construction for amended BharatNet program. And it is expected it is one of the world's largest rural broadband infrastructure on its completion. The experience from the world suggests that building infrastructure, while is an essential as a first step, but the measure of its success lies in its utilization. So connectivity, infrastructure, it creates only the potential, but its adoption and usage is what creates impact. So while DBN is created this, will be creating infrastructure for having impact, there needs to be more than creation, the whole value system or the whole ecosystem has to coordinate and see how best it can be utilized. So with this infrastructure, the following important questions emerge. How do we maximize the impact of this created network infrastructure? And how to ensure a fiber reaching village into meaningful digital access for the citizens of that village? Coming now, public Wi-Fi has been evolved as significantly over the years. It is an important mechanism for extending broadband access to public spaces, institutions, campuses, transportation hubs, community environments. TRI, in its recent consultation paper in April 2026, titled Proliferation of Public Wi-Fi Networks in India, has cited some of the international examples. South Korea's public Wi-Fi, with around 95,000 hotspots nationwide, is supported by state, municipal bodies, private players, and the ISPs. Free access to people is ensured in public parks, cultural sites, buses, subways, etc. And the revenue comes from advertising, bundled services, and mobile data offload. Similarly, in UK, public Wi-Fi is deployed through ISP-managed fiber backhaul, enterprise-grade access points from the private entities, and the municipal partnerships. And this has led to launch of some of the flagship initiatives like Transport for London, Wi-Fi on Tube, City of London Wi-Fi, NHS, the National Health Scheme, Wi-Fi across hospitals, and the government Wi-Fi for government offices. So these examples demonstrate how governments can engage with stakeholders like TSP, ISPs, municipal bodies, private partnerships, so as to make public Wi-Fi a pillar for digital inclusion. Mobile broadband had undoubtedly been one of India's great success stories, which is supplemented by rural FTTH and FWA. At the same time, there is increasing recognition that fixed broadband through public Wi-Fi emerges as a more robust and reliable method for digital access. So this sets the context for today's discussion on public Wi-Fi, as it offers opportunities to bring connectivity closer to the users, particularly where shared access models can complement with individual subscriptions. The government has launched PM Vani scheme in 2020 to accelerate the spread of broadband services through public Wi-Fi networks across the country. PM Vani aims to create a robust digital communication infrastructure by empowering local entrepreneurs to set up Wi-Fi hotspots with minimal regulatory oversight. To further strengthen the framework, some key reforms were introduced in September 2024, includes use of FTTH connections by PDO, aggregation of multiple access points, integration of existing home and business Wi-Fi to PM Vani network, roaming across PDOAs, and partner with telecom operators for mobile data offload. With hardware certified by CDOT and indigenous manufacturing, PM Vani has potential to evolve as one of the key players of DPI that not only expands internet access, but also embeds connectivity by way of inclusion into everyday life. Because it's a shared resource, so inclusion is the main point here. As technologies continue to evolve, new opportunities emerge, availability of large spectrum resources, advances in Wi-Fi technology, and improvements in fiber infrastructure, and the growing importance of seamless connectivity are opening the possibilities which were difficult to imagine few years ago. With these, there are several important questions which can remain answered. How do we improve user experience? How do we ensure sustainability? How we encourage greater utilization of existing infrastructure? How we create connectivity solutions that are inclusive, scalable, and economically viable? And perhaps the most important, how do we ensure that every rupee invested in DPI translates to enhanced opportunity for citizens? These questions cannot be answered by one organization, but requires collaboration amongst government, industry, technology developers, service providers, and the wider ecosystem. I believe today's discussion shall provide an excellent opportunity to explore these issues. We have with us eminent panel representing diverse perspectives and significant experience in deployment, technology, entrepreneurship, and public policy. I look forward to hearing their insights, how public Wi-Fi can contribute to the broader objective of digital inclusion and help us unlock the full potential of India's digital infrastructure. With these thoughts, I thank Broadband India Forum for organizing this timely discussion and look forward for an engaging and productive discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Uh, that was a very excellent context setting. In the interest of time, as we have very limited time, in fact, the clock is showing 43 minutes left, and we have not even started the panel discussion. I will now go straight away into the questions. So, I am aware of the fact that Dr. S.N. Gupta sir and Srinivas want to make a short presentation, but that will be a part of your answer to the question that I will be posing to both of you, sir, kindly. So bear with me. Thank you. So I will go in a reverse order. Normally one goes from right to left. I will go from left to right. So my first question is to the panelist on the extreme left, Shri Vivek Narayanji, former DDG DS and now a professor of practice in a number of leading universities on a number of subjects related to public Wi-Fi, cyber security, blockchain, quantum, etc. So Vivek ji, my first question to you, and probably the only question, so please keep your answer brief, but at the same time you can speak your mind. Public Wi-Fi has often been viewed as a connectivity initiative. Should it instead be viewed as part of India's broader digital inclusion and digital public infrastructure strategy? If yes, what policy interventions could accelerate adoption without distorting market dynamics? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, BIF, for giving me an opportunity. The answer is absolutely yes. The answer to the question is absolutely yes. I'll explain how. See, when is mobile data used and when is Wi-Fi being used? When we are on move, we use mobile data. In homes and in offices, we use Wi-Fi. Why? Because it is faster and it is cheaper. As chairman also said that even in rural areas, the usage of mobile data is around 24 GB. As per TRAI reports, it is around 25 GB India average. Whereas, if you see total usage per household in FTTH, FTTH is obviously through Wi-Fi only. But the use of FTTH is ultimately the Wi-Fi modem at our homes. It is around 250 to 300 GB. So it is 10 times more, the usage is 10 times more. Secondly, there are various situations where mobile data will not work. I'll give you few examples. a photographer clicking an event and then in the night uploading it to a lab for processing and making the video and the album. He needs high speed data. He cannot transmit his file through mobile data, and more so if he's in a rural area, the connectivity of mobile is not as good. That is one example. Study centers and online education. There are hundreds of study centers in each city which are using Wi-Fi. Third is, even today when I go for consultation, this is my personal experience, when I go for consultation on second floor medicine, AIIMS, Delhi, I have to run to the window to get the OTP. Indoor coverage is an issue even in AIIMS, Delhi. So I'm not on AIIMS, Delhi, I'm saying that indoor coverage is an issue where Wi-Fi is required. Fourth place is, see, there are many ASI monuments now have done online ticketing. Now many places like Masroor in Himachal Pradesh, rock cut temples, and there are various other Tabu monastery, etc., where mobile coverage is not there. So you need public Wi-Fi, and even if mobile coverage is there for one operator, it may not be, you may not be subscriber of that operator. So you need public Wi-Fi. Now I am sure that with PM Vani 2 being initiated by DOT and CDOT, it will be more reliable, it will be more easy to use, and the TSPs and ISPs would help promote it with a high speed bandwidth. See, TSPs and ISPs have nothing to lose with PM1E or public Wi-Fi. They are licensed to provide public Wi-Fi themselves. In fact, non-PM1E Wi-Fi is around 55,000 non-PM1E Wi-Fi as per the latest TRI report, which are consuming 70 GB data per access point per month. So there is use of public Wi-Fi. Second is 4.1 lakh PM1E connections. Now the consumption of this is not correctly appearing in the CDOT central registry because many of the PDOAs are not giving data to the CDOT central registry. So I request all the PDOAs to start giving their data, because any public policy would be formulated based on data. So if data is not there, then public policy cannot be formulated correctly. Many speakers have already said, see, we need density. To enhance density, many speakers have already said that now we have 3 tri-bands, so at least one band SSID can be allowed for public Wi-Fi, so this needs a regulatory change. Many speakers have already spoken about it, and it is being used in various places like Bangladesh, etc. It is not something new. And the TSPs, ISPs, they provide public hotspots themselves, or they earn through the backhaul connectivity, so they have nothing to lose. As regards the interventions, policy interventions required, one is the SSID made available for public Wi-Fi or PM1E. Roaming has been spoken about elaborately. The problem is that if I am a subscriber of PM1E at Bangalore, and if I come to Delhi, then I have to pay again. Now every time I change the PDOA, I have to pay. So that becomes not easy to use. It is not so. If roaming is there, then I pay at one place, and I can use data anywhere. Other thing is that presently foreigners are not allowed to use PM Vani because the authentication is through the Indian mobile SIM, which they don't have. So there could be, see, they are giving, there could be some policy intervention by their KYC, passport, etc., so that they can use PM Vani access. So this also requires some regulatory changes. Backhaul cost should be actually cost based plus some profit margin, but the backhaul cost is still making PM Vani unaffordable. Once we have the density, then we can have mass media campaigns, revenue through advertisements, and CDOT has demonstrated a wonderful showcase at Akola, where they have combined agriculture, education, medicine, and entertainment all through PM Vani hotspots. So that can be used. There should be unified app for PM Vani. Presently, there are multiple apps, and many apps are not working, I'm sorry to say. But so there should be a unified app to make it more popular. We could have combo tickets, say, for transport as well as Wi-Fi. Many countries have that. So that would, once a tourist comes, he buys a combo ticket, metro, bus, and Wi-Fi. He has access for all three. These are some of my suggestions.
Thank you very much, sir. My next set of questions is to Dr. S.N. Gupta. Sir, based on your experience across developing markets, what distinguishes successful community broadband initiatives from those that struggle to achieve scale? What do you think could be the lessons that India can adopt for rural and remote deployments? Over to you, SNG, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Debu.
You want
As
to
you have
make
told,
the
I'd like to use my...
Your presentation, I think I am requesting the staff to kindly put it up.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's a great honor and pleasure to be speaking here, especially here all the panelists have been my friends for ages, actually. Mr. Vora, Srini, Dr. Mukesh Gupta, our friend Vivek Narayan and Rishi Gareji. We have been working in this domain for many years now, so it's a great honor and pleasure. Of course, this presentation was for something else, and time is also less. I'll be making use of only few slides from this. Basically, I want to bring the concept of phygital public good, which is a combination of the digital infrastructure and physical infrastructure, and how it will solve, and some of the questions. Luckily for me, work is made easier by the chairman himself, Dr. Mukesh. He has actually covered everything. He has also answered the questions he raised actually already, and Vivek ji have done further value addition. So how I go there? So this is my starting point, that we have to go beyond the digital public infrastructure, though there is a definition chairman mentioned from the international body. In India, though it is not defined officially, DPI, but DPI in India means India stack actually. India stack means it is software. The last line of my presentation tells what in India digital public infrastructure means. It is India stack. Like since morning we were talking about Aadhaar, UPI, ONDC, all the software part. Luckily PM Vani also comes there, because PM Vani to start with as a product was a software. Dr. Sharma morning explained also the story or history of Vani, which became PM Vani. Vani stands for Wi-Fi Access Network Interface. According to me, this is the only one product which we can call Indian in software. This was the first one. Second is the 5G core, which came Only 2 Indian products are there in software. So one is one of that product, but it is still a software. So these are all part of the India stack, which is the digital public infrastructure. But the problem what we want to solve is actually the public Wi-Fi infrastructure for inclusion. If we want inclusion, we want to reach it to everyone, leaving no one behind, then the DPI or software alone is not enough. It needs some hard thing, it needs some backbone, what we are talking, like BharatNet and all that. So in that also, as you know, I have included what is called public Wi-Fi hotspots. So they are not the DPI fully. Only the PM Vani stack is the part of DPI. So we have to go beyond that, and that is what I will like to call phygital infrastructure. And it is not only the infrastructure. Since morning, we have actually got the learning on this, what should be done actually to combine both the physical, digital infrastructure and digital public infrastructure, these two things together. And I'll go to my main slides actually, and if you talk about BharatNet morning also they were talking, now we have almost 40 lakhs kilometer of fiber. Out of that, BharatNet alone is 7 lakhs kilometer, a major chunk is there, but it has some issue which Dr. Sharma raised also. So I want to bring a concept of actually where I will like to use this new technology, blockchain, and how it will fit. I have to go there actually. And so this is what, since morning we are talking about the PM Vani, this much you already know. Actually, it was discussed also, but it had some gaps actually which have come out very clearly. So those gaps can be actually covered. According to me, there is a very important thing here, and that is the central registry. Dr. Sharma was also mentioning why it was required, but luckily, actually there is a way out. The Dr. Sharma was kind enough to read out the cabinet note which actually cleared the PM Vani, cabinet note. In that it was clearly mentioned, no license required, no registration required. So, but still we went for central registry, because in India we just don't want anything to go free for everything. You can make free license, free spectrum, but everything cannot go free. And that is right also, because some accountability have to be. And for that, the central registry was introduced, though it was not a licensing requirement, neither it was a requirement of the cabinet note. So we'll see how to handle that part and whether it is doing good or it is a gap actually. So this is the total architecture. We have no time to go through that, but this is what Dr. Sharma had explained also, and this is the PM Vani. So I want to start here actually. Now, because I'm already working on this PM Vani, and morning you were told that 4 lakhs hotspots are there of PM Vani. That is correct. Number is very small, but 4 lakhs also, it is not that bad. But the PM Vani was to be actually for villages, for rural. The cabinet was very clear in stating that it is to take broadband or Wi-Fi to the rural India, where it becomes affordable as well as easy to use. That was the purpose. So, but in rural, we don't have more than 15,000 hotspots out of those 4 lakhs hotspots actually. So that is a big gap actually in the statistic also. So what we have tried to do is actually we call it everything on the tower. So we put everything, all kind of hardware, all kind of software, so that it becomes affordable. So that is what I have tried to do here. And then in place of the central registry, we are trying to do what is called a decentralized registry. It will do all the functions what a central registry was doing, but on an automated manner, on a very low-cost manner, and not only creating a gap or not creating a hurdle. So because anything registry, anything authorization, normally it is treated as a hurdle, and that is true also. So if you automate that process, totally automate, no human intervention, That can be done through decentralized by using blockchain so that no hurdle is there. And that is what will be my thing actually. But main thing is I will like to take 2 more minutes. Like morning also it came that about the BharatNet thing and how the existing infrastructure can be used. And that is win-win for both existing infrastructure as well as Wi-Fi hotspots, PM Money, because PM Money is not succeeding or not delivering what it should have done. And BharatNet infrastructure, if we go by what Dr. Sharma mentioned, that BharatNet and Dr. Mukesh also mentioned, it is underutilized, whatever it is there. So there is a need, if both of them can complement each other, or both of them can become one. Actually, BharatNet point of presence in a Gram Panchayat should be automatically made PM Money enabled Wi-Fi access point or a public hotspot. That termination itself should be created as a public hotspot with PM Money capability. So that is what it can solve. And for that, there was a concept of neutral host. Actually, Dr. Mukesh, you will know neutral host when it was NOFN, when it was BVNL. Neutral host means that it will not have a ownership of any of the one operator. But what happened in the process that they converted BharatNet first as a BBNL, then they gave it to BSNL. Ultimately, it becomes now the property of one of the operator. It is the reverse of neutral host. And that is why its cost, though the lot of subsidy is being given, the BSNL is giving the cheapest. They are making use of DBN subsidy also, but after that also it is double the cost of a retail connection, after all that. That means it is not still a neutral host. An operator, he has to have a commercial interest. He cannot sell anything at loss. So what it has to be converted back. This full infrastructure have to be converted back to the neutral host, for which cabinet approval was there. The public opinion was that it is a neutral host, which is not. It should be done. And neutral host, after doing it neutral host, it should be converted into what we call a digital public good. Digital public good was a term coined in the G20 meeting, actually, where India was the president. And that time they told digital public infrastructure should be converted one step above, called digital public good. Digital public good means it should be given. It should be given almost free of cost, or only the OPEX cost should be recovered from the user. So if the BharatNet bandwidth, which is going at the GP level, can be given on the OPEX cost basis. That means what happened to the CAPEX? You don't have to recover the CAPEX in a digital public good. That is called a sunk cost. It is actually sunk. So it is not being used. If it is not being used, you have spent your money and it has gone to waste. So why don't you give it, you charge the maintenance cost, because the morning also we came to know maintenance have been an issue even now. So yes, you charge only the maintenance cost. Don't talk of return of investment, because it is a public money, and that is the definition of digital public good. In addition to that, one more thing which I wanted to bring that to the table actually recently, it is that you have to make use of the CSR fund. Actually, there is a saying, if there is a market failure, when there is a no business case, that is called a market failure. So then government have to step in. Government have to fund it. Government is telling, I'm funding. Yes, whatever money I have, I'm funding in my NOF, BharatNet, that I'm funding. So everything I cannot fund. Morning also the officer, and it was not the officer, it was the member T himself actually, the guest of honor. He told that our objective of PM Money was, we want it to be self-sufficient. We will not be funding it actually, and he was right, because they are funding on the backhaul part. But backhaul, which should have become neutral host, it has been taken over by one of the operator, even if it is a government operator. But the operator, he will have commercial interest. It will not be becoming a intention what was digital public good. Make that backbone as a digital public goods. Whatever cost on operation and maintenance is there, that you recover from these PDO player, like BNUs are there. So that way it can solve this problem. That way it can reach actually, the fiber have already reached. Beyond fiber you make Wi-Fi guys to take it, PM Money, there are a lot of technologies, all that. So my dream is actually like in digital public good today we have water, your air, your space. The BharatNet bandwidth should also become like that. almost free of cost to the service provider of this, which can be PDO, which can be even ISP. Whosoever wants to use it, let them use it, because then only the inclusion can happen, because then only affordability will come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that very powerful concept and thought. I would now request my next question is to Mr. Rishi Ghare. Rishi ji, my question to you is, what are the biggest practical challenges in deploying and maintaining public Wi-Fi networks in underserved and rural areas? And just to introduce Mr. Rishi Ghare, he's CEO of Indio Networks, a premier PDOA who's been in this business for many years now. Over to you, Rishi ji.
Thank you, Debashish ji. First of all, good evening to everyone, and really thankful to BIF for inviting me for this panel discussion. It was really inspiring and thought-provoking since morning. Just to set some context here, Indio Networks and our formal name was Wi-Fi Soft. We've been in the Wi-Fi hotspot business for almost 21 years. And over the years, we have served a lot of different countries, as well as we have seen different kinds of business models evolve. The reason I say that is because the depth that we have carried, or we have got over the years, I wanted to kind of summarize them as a part of this answer. So we did some projects. Obviously, we are doing a lot of projects in India, but parallelly, we started off our first public Wi-Fi project was in Vietnam. After that, we did several projects in Africa. For example, we did public schools in Mozambique. We were doing projects with Starlink and SoftBank in Rwanda schools. Then currently we are working with Europe's largest satellite operator and setting up almost 4,000 to 5,000 hotspots in really some remote regions of sub-Saharan Africa, primarily countries like Democratic Republic of Congo, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Tanzania, and so on. And in India, we are also obviously a PDOA, and we as a company, we are primarily an OEM. So we manufacture and we build all these solutions. But we also have tried to become a PDOA and try to install our own hotspots. And recently, the project which Vivek ji was mentioning, that village name is called Satnauri, which is near Nagpur, where we have deployed a Wi-Fi, a kind of a proof of concept, kind of a smart village we have created through our consortium called Voice. So I wanted to kind of, based on all these experiences that we have, I wanted to distill out some of the challenges for implementing PM-WANI in India, because that's what the question is. And being an engineer, I don't like to just discuss challenges. I also would like to give some solutions or some hints or whatever we can be done correctly. So to come to your answer, sir, I think the main, there are multiple challenges. It's doing Wi-Fi deployments in rural area, not in India, but anywhere in the world, is extremely hard. So let us acknowledge that it is not an easy problem to solve. And it's easier said than done, because we have done that and we have seen our partners doing it. So I'll give you some instances. We have deployed Wi-Fi hotspots with our partner Hughes Networks, which is a US-based satellite company, in remote parts of Peru, Brazil, and Colombia. And we can see heartwarming stories of people traveling 5 kilometers to connect to a Wi-Fi hotspots in the deserts of Peru, just to connect to Wi-Fi, whatever, connect Wi-Fi, do some transact business or send email. So those, and I was, that video that madam showed in us resonated very well with us, because we could hear those heartwarming stories in Africa, in South America, and in India. So coming back, I believe if you look at this problem of public Wi-Fi or public hotspots, I will list out 5-6 different challenges that we all will encounter nonetheless wherever we deploy. One is backhaul connectivity and its reliability. And I think that's one of the foremost. If your pipe to the hotspot is broken, you will not get reliable internet at all. And we are all talking about BharatNet. So when we are doing this project in Maharashtra, I personally have visited almost 10 to 15 villages to look at the state of BharatNet. And I'm really sorry to say that none of those connections were working. In fact, many places we went to the Panchayat office, we had a meeting with the Panchayat officers, the Panchayat committee officers. They didn't even know that there was a BharatNet installed. And when we went down, we went to the basement or somewhere below the stairs, there was a box installed, there was a fiber coming in, the box was not powered. So what I'm trying to tell you, it's easier for us sitting in this ballrooms to say that we should do this, but when you go on the ground, the realities are really different. And I could sense that. Even in the village where we deployed this smart intelligent village, we had to work with BSNL to activate the fiber. It was broken. And so it took us almost a month to activate the fiber. After that, we installed Wi-Fi hotspots in the village. So those, I think, backhaul reliability, BharatNet needs to be activated. Sir was telling our R.S. Sharma sir was telling that if your pipe is, you don't know whether your pipe is working, there is no way you can build anything on top of it. So we need to fix that first. The second most important challenge is operational challenges or maintaining those hotspots. And I'm going to contrast what I have experienced in India with a successful project that we are doing in Africa. We are working with the satellite operator and they are implementing a project called Connect Africa. And we have kind of implemented the Facebook Express Wi-Fi platform for them. And for those who are not aware, I think Express Wi-Fi from Facebook was one of the successful programs in the world in the Wi-Fi space, in the public Wi-Fi space. And I think it ran really successfully for almost 8 years before Meta or Facebook decided to shut it down. And we have kind of inherited that technology or platform, and now we are implementing it in these regions. So when I contrast this, I could sense that in India there is people deploy Wi-Fi hotspots, but there is very little consideration given to manage and maintain those hotspots. And it's very, very simple, sir. If you don't maintain anything, if they are not operational, the person will never believe or will not basically trust that particular technology. On the contrary, here, the European company has put in all the processes, systems to ensure that their Wi-Fi hotspots are operational 24/7. So what I'm telling you is that there needs to be an entity who is responsible. We cannot just say PDOA should be doing that. And then the next part which comes is the financial viability. So again, I think we all know public Wi-Fi is not financially viable. It has to be made financially viable. And for that, again, when I contrast that to Connect Africa project, if a particular Wi-Fi hotspot is not working, they take it out and put it at a place where it is really working, where there is really usage, there is really people connecting. So there is demand. It's a simple demand and supply problem. And if you're not able to solve it, if you just put in number of hotspots, we're talking about 10 million, 50 million, we can just talk about numbers. But unless those numbers are substantiated by data that, okay, it's going to be used, I don't think those numbers make any sense. So I believe the financial viability is another challenge. Technical literacy. So I think that can be solved, but I think in many places, the way Wi-Fi is set up in India means we all never connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot at an airport. Most of it end up using mobile data. And we are all educated, digitally literate people. Imagine what a villager can do. So it is really impractical, as in whatever we talk here, when we go to the ground, when I was in that Satnauri village, we had enabled a OTP-based captive portal. And the people, I literally had to go to every person's mobile phone and get his mobile number registered to the Wi-Fi hotspot. It couldn't just happen. Okay, it was, the login page was in Marathi or local language, but still, it was impossible. So digital literacy. So we have to, when we are talking about open roaming or we're talking about technologies, it has to be as seamless as mobile connectivity. And I'll just put 2 more points. I think UI, UX, and usage friction that we are sensing right now. And I think power, theft, and vandalism are some of the other challenges. So overall, I think there are solutions to all this. But I believe that this particular PM Money program needs to be driven by some company or some institution within India, and they have to really take it as their primary agenda to take it, because right now there is no such entity, and I believe if that is done, we can make it successful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very practical solutions. Thank you. I would now turn to our next speaker, which is Mr. Harmeet Singh Hora from Vyom. Harmeet ji, my question to you is, Vyom has demonstrated that public Wi-Fi can be deployed and monetized at scale. You have, I believe, more than 150,000 hotspots, all in the city of Delhi. Very surprising, out of 411,000. It was supposed to be a poor man's Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi. It has turned out to be a so-called, in a city of Delhi where more than 40% hotspots are deployed. What lessons have you learned about user behavior, and what ultimately drives sustained adoption of public Wi-Fi? Your thoughts, Harmeet, over to you.
So thank you so much, sir, for inviting me for this panel discussion. Always a great privilege for both me, my team, and for Vyom to further the cause of PM Vani, because we truly believe at Vyom that the biggest gap between the rich and the poor is the lack of opportunities and not of skill set. And we truly, truly believe that with unlimited, uninterrupted, and affordable internet, this gap can be bridged at a scale. So again, thank you so much for inviting us to this, and we are truly, truly honored and privileged to be partnering with PM Vani to further this cause of bridging the digital gap and the internet gap in our country. Sir, before I jump into what learnings we had about our users when we operate such high number of PDOs here in Delhi, I just want the audience and the panelists to know that Delhi is not where we are right now. जितनी दिल्ली ऊपर है, उतने ही दिल्ली या उससे ज़्यादा दिल्ली जो आपको दिखती नहीं है वो है, which means that what you see today is the posh localities of Delhi today, which we know of and where we are today. You have within Delhi itself multiple localities and multiple places, multiple neighborhoods, which if you go there, you will not even realize that you are in Delhi, right? Places like Khanpur, Kusumpur Pahadi, right? Places like Sangam Vihar, right? A lot of these places are places where within Delhi, the average household income of these localities will not be more than 15-20,000. And you will be surprised that with PM Vani, we are actually able to take unlimited, uninterrupted internet to these households at very, very affordable pricing. So truly, truly honored to be furthering the cause of PM Vani. Now, about the point on what have we learned about our user behavior. The first thing is that when we operate at this scale, we have truly learned that this myth that with mobile data now at just, at 1.5 GB per day at an affordable price, do we really need Wi-Fi at all? Because there is a myth that when you have mobile data, why do you really need Wi-Fi at all? But please understand that mobile data usage is for the audience which is on the go. Like when you are sitting here, you want to check your phone for any office work or for Gmail, email, for just being socially connected. Yes, mobile data is very, very helpful. Some casual social media viewing, etc., it is helpful. But imagine a household जहाँ पर कुछ बच्चे हैं, बूढ़े माँ बाप हैं, there is a housemaker, there is a young local entrepreneur who is trying to set up some digital shop, right? These are the use cases which require stationary, reliable, high data usage internet, and that can only and only come via Wi-Fi's, right? Because technically it is not possible to give you unlimited data via your mobile phones, because जब tower से आपके data आता है, then that data is very lossy, क्योंकि जब हवा से डेटा ट्रैवल करता है तो वो बहुत इट इज़ वेरी लॉसी, राइट? देयर आर लॉट ऑफ लॉसेस. So with those losses, beyond 1.5 GB, you can go to 3 GB, 5 GB. But the households we are talking about, 5 people, 6 people households who need for their studies, for their local entrepreneurship, for their entertainment, for their telemedicines, etc. When they need this data, we are talking about each of our households consuming 10 to 12 GB of data per day. Now compare that to 1.5 GB data which you get on your phone, and when we started operating at this scale, we realized that there is no substitute. In fact, mobile data and Wi-Fi data are complementary to each other. When you are on the go, you have a on-the-fly data usage. Yes, mobile data is helpful. But when you are in your home, when you are in your local places where you need a high amount of data usage, that is where Wi-Fi is truly, truly useful, and PM Wani gives you that Wi-Fi at a very, very affordable price. Number two is affordability is not just about price, but it is also about access. Now, a lot of times we feel, okay, everybody today has a mobile phone. The mobile phones have gone cheaper, right? Now, you can get a mobile phone for even 4,000, 5,000 rupees. The mobile data has already become very cheap. Then why can't the entire household have a mobile phone and everybody can use the mobile data which is available? But that is again not true, because there is only a single breadwinner in lot of these households. So all the dependent members of the households, how do they consume data? Like the kids, people who are from NCR, they would realize almost 10 to 15 days in a year now, you have your schools closed because of pollution. How do you do your classes? A lot of assignments today, a lot of interviews, a lot of other form of education today has gone online. So a lot of these kids need uninterrupted data. So it is not about affordability, it is also about access at a household level. A lot of these dependent parents, for their entertainment, for other stuff, they need internet. Then a lot of these households which I was talking to you about, they have these self-employed people who are running either their social media companies, digital marketing companies, even call centers, right, from their laptops and from their mobile phones. Again, for each of these, they need Wi-Fi data, which is stable, unlimited, as well as affordable. And that is what PM Wani enables them to do. And we truly, when we operated at this scale of 1.5 lakh households, we realized that what Wi-Fi and what affordable Wi-Fi can do for them. Lastly, this is supremely critical, that we realized that friction is the biggest killer, not even the price. हम लोग इंडिया में जब भी कोई बिजनेस बनाते हैं हमें लगता है if you get the price right you are sorted, but trust me, in our experience, friction to access this affordable internet was the biggest killer, and it remains the killer today as well. And that will be our humble suggestion to the panelists and to the policymakers of how can we make PM Wani accessible through web, versus today it is only accessible through the app model, right? So what happens is every time you restrict an access to something through only the app, then there are multiple steps which are involved. Now imagine, count with me. You first click on your Play Store, then you search for PM Wani, then you click on the install button, then you click on the open button. Just to access this. Abhi access shuru nahi hua. Now you have to give your phone number and OTP, which will anyways happen on web as well. But imagine, just between web and mobile and app, there are 4 distinct steps or clicks involved. These are in digital world called friction points. And hence, by virtue of these 4 extra points or extra friction points, your user base drops, because every extra point is a droppage or a leakage. So in our experience, we truly believe that if we solve for a web access versus a app access, which we have today for PM Wani, your top of the funnel or people who can try this PM Wani hotspots or Wi-Fi for an affordable price can increase manifold. So again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Hope I was able
Thank you,
to
Harmeet.
explain my point.
I now turn to my last speaker, which is Srinivas from Matrecom. Srinivas, my question to you is, how can you improve something when you cannot measure or monitor it? So, and you don't know whether it is success or failure unless you are able to monitor it and report it. We believe, we at BIF believe that public Wi-Fi and especially PM Wani public Wi-Fi needs to be monitored, measured more carefully, and needs to be reported also carefully from periodically so that people know and understand where we are going wrong so that policy and regulation can correct it. So my question to you is, should success be measured or even failure be measured by the number of hotspots deployed? Rishi had a point on that, but I will ask your opinion. Or should it be measured by the active users, traffic carried, and the digital services that are enabled through it? Over to you, Srinivas. And make it quick, please. We are running short of time. Thank you.
I know. Thanks, Devashish. I think the answer will lie somewhere in between what I will run through. I won't probably run through the slides as much as I will probably be interacting with you. Maybe a couple of slides, and then I think we'll begin a kind of an interaction. I think we have basically heard many people speak about the fact that the PM Wani should be rolled out at scale. How many of you knew before this particular slide popped up, that PM Wani has been rolled out across the entire state of Assam? How many? No one? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, I know the crowd is less, but I think 2 out of 100 or maybe 2 out of 50 is still less, right? The fact that it is basically being taken up to change the way we live, work, and play across the state is a vindication of the fact that people do need a kind of a transformative solution which is based on Wi-Fi and other things. Next slide. Okay, I need to run through this. Wow. Thank you. Okay. Before we go down to the fact that, okay, what is PM Wani, what was done over there, rather than trying to tell you what was done and trying to take you through the boring part, what could be the transformative solutions that each one of you would like to think through with PM Wani? So instead of calling it as PM Wani, I would probably like to call it up as PM Wani Transformative Solution. PM Transformative Wani Solution. Any ideas, any suggestions? What could be the transformative or unique solutions that we can create with PM Wani?
Make it free, basically.
No, that's okay. That's not a solution.
That's a goal.
Srinivas, you give the answer. We are running short of time.
Anyone? Pardon? Powered. No, ideas and solutions, what we can do with them. Okay, agriculture, health, right. So now, instead of basically speaking that, let's do PM Wani broadband, let us basically say that we want to do a PM Wani school. Let's talk about doing a PM Wani shop, a PM Wani healthcare. So I think what we should be talking about is those PM Wani solutions, right? Because the aspect of PM Wani as a broadband being required is accepted everywhere. And what we should be doing is, I think I have a suggestion. Today we are celebrating Wi-Fi. Maybe I think what we should be going up at doing is, we should be celebrating those use cases of the PM Wani or even the normal Wi-Fi out over here. Maybe invite more of those innovative guys, because I think people will, each one of us, for example, the digital empowerment, that particular use case, it definitely helped. So maybe I think we should celebrate more of those innovative use cases going up ahead, right? So I think, no problem, sir. As many use cases as we can create out of it. At the end of the day, if you were to really look up at operating system is an infrastructure. The only way an operating system's success is measured is by the number of applications running on it. Similarly, PM Wani is an infrastructure. The number of innovative solutions and use cases that we can build on it will define its success. And the only way that it can spread is if people come and share those particular innovative use cases out over here, because else I think we probably have heard each other saying that PM Money is required and it needs to spread. Okay, so what was done over there? Yes, these are some thoughts on those particular, the cases we can have. But what has happened up is that in Assam, we are basically through the PM Money, the government is working to roll out PM Money schools and colleges, PM Money shops, and then creating PM Money entrepreneurs. You may call it by different name. They may not be putting up the PM Money as a name, but that infrastructure is enabling that particular sectors out over there. And I think as this thing happens, I think at some particular point of time, the folks from the Amtron would be the right people to share those success stories. But we, having been a part of it, I'm just enlightening as to what have we done up over there. And well, I think all that I can say is, as the government, the state government from over there shares those details, I think it probably can be used as a way to enhance or replicate or do whatever be it to make it more successful. At the end of the day, what are all the solutions and what are all the transformations that it has enabled is the key. So if you were to ask me, it's neither the number of access points nor the number of use cases, the number of transformative, these things for each individual which can be replicated out quickly, because I think we are still in the phase one where we are trying to create the use cases which can be replicated. So I think if we have created use cases which can be replicated, I think we have taken PM Money to the next stage, not based on number of access points or the users. Yeah.
Sir, can we take the Q&A later?
I'm just provoking you. What you did for creating the infrastructure, because if the infrastructure is there, right, end to end, everything can be done. So what you did over there in Assam, that will be a lesson for everybody.
See, I didn't do, I enabled it. I'm part of the solution. But I'll tell you one thing, Amtron is an ISP. So they have the fiber availability in the various districts. So that helped. And then, of course, they already knew that they had to begin with the schools and the colleges. Then they would have to take it up to the commerce part of it and everything. So there was a plan from the day one. So if you were to ask me, I think the people over there were visionary. We also brainstormed up together with them. We were clear on one thing. We will not just be doing like providing internet. We'll be trying to do some value-added solutions. So that was a goal, more than just providing internet.
Thank you. Thank you, Srini. You can come back. Thank you. Now that we've come to the end of our panel discussion, do we have time for any audience questions? Or, yeah, we still have one hand raised. Otherwise, I was requesting, we have time for two. Okay. So, Rakesh ji, over to you, sir.
My question to Mukesh. The thing is that if Assam could do it, why can't we do in rest of the world, rest of the country? If Assam is a success model, why can't we do it? That's the basic question. Where we are failing. Mr. Manocha is with me. He was in USO previously. So, where we failed, how we are going to fail it? Or can we do something?
As my speaker has told the BharatNet story in Maharashtra, which was not very encouraging, but we are anticipating in the phase 3 amended BharatNet program, where we are launching under DBOM model, that is design, build, operate and maintain. So the network which will be created through BharatNet, that is from block to the GPs in ring, has to be created and maintained by the same PIA for 10 years. And in this, comes with an O&M for 7 years based on SLA. So he will be paid based on the availability of each Gram Panchayats. And for this 98% availability of Gram Panchayats has to be insured for full O&M payments. For lesser SLAs, penalties are there. Similarly, block has to be maintained for 99% reliability, routers. So this will ensure some level of satisfaction amongst customer. The next thing was the cost to the ISPs, TSPs. So we have given a revised tariff for amended BharatNet, which has been issued recently in the month of May. I was the chairman of the committee who drafted this tariff also. So the earlier tariff was, fiber was for 6,000 rupees per fiber kilometer, which we have reduced to 3,000, but we have given them 2 kinds of discounts. The first discount is in a block, if you take 50 fiber kilometer, standard 25% discount. Similarly, for solution maybe like Assam, if in a block you connect 4 or 5, or maybe all the Gram Panchayats, so you can get up to 70% more discount. This will be applicable not only for fiber, but also for the bandwidth you flow. So what I think probably I could guess from Assam, with this kind of tariff and the availability and stability of network if it is ensured, BharatNet can complement this PM Vani or the Wi-Fi or any kind of telecom services rollout. So I think we have to slightly wait how the project progresses. Assam has recently been awarded. I think maybe within next 2 years, whole Assam, including non-GP village, if there is a demand for 5 FTTS connections, that will also be connected through optical fiber, and that fiber will also be maintained by the same PIA. So government is foreseeing this as a possible, PM1 is one of the US cases, and there is minimum 24 fibers from each block to each GP. For BharatNet, our own ring formation, we may use around 4 to 6. So all the fibers are available for use by the TSP, ISPs, as well as state governments, any institution. So with that incentive, the government has built this BharatNet, which they call the only internet highway of India, digital highway of India.
Thank you, sir. Any other question? We have the last question from Mr. Manoj.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Excellent presentation by all. And the specific ones which were practical oriented, I liked Mr. Harmeet, Mr. Srinivas, and Rishi Ghare. And they came out with the problems. And Mukesh ji, आपने बहुत अच्छा आगे का solution बताया. We are very happy about it. My one suggestion to you would be, keep the access operators ready. The day you say that KPIs of the ringmaster block to GP, whosoever is doing, उसके साथ 10 user with respective use cases should be connected. Unless somebody, coordinates that kind of thing, it wouldn't happen. Again, it would remain idle, and there'll be no sustainability, no revenue for the ringmaster, and the ringmaster. So this is first is utilization should be linked. I remember from my field experience, my CGM used to say in Western Telecommunication region, the day you take over the asset from the project after 80, whether pending points or no pending points, it should be loaded the same day, and then traffic should be monitored. A dead asset won't be recognized कि कब फाइबर कट हुआ. जैसे अभी कुछ भाई लोगों ने कहा, ये मेरे CGM साहब तब कहते थे जब 1990s में नया ऑप्टिकल फाइबर आया था. That is one suggestion. And my question to Mr. Srinivas was, I am enthused by the Assam success. आपने बोला आपने अपना फाइबर यूज किया. There are 2 सरकारी fibers.
Sir, can you be very brief in your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have given suggestion. Now, question is brief. There are 2 sarkari fibers. One is Assam OSC scheme, started by USOF. Second is the BharatNet itself. उन फाइबर्स का ना यूज़ करते हुए आपने अपना फाइबर क्यों यूज़ किया?
No. I think I would like to correct it.
Yes, sir.
We had provided the PMI software platform. The fiber, everything comes from Amtron, not ours.
That right. Amtron also वो अपना उनका फाइबर था आपने बोला ना? या आपको पता नहीं है या तो आपको पता नहीं होगा?
नहीं.
किसका फाइबर यूज़ हुआ?
Can I interrupt here, sir? Can we
Yeah.
take this discussion
Yeah,
off
please.
the stage,
Yeah.
please? And
Thank
sir,
you.
can we close the session? Over to you, sir.
I don't think we have time. We are completely. Sorry? Acha, 30 seconds.
हेलो सर, आई एम अनिल श्रीवास्तव, CEO एक्सपर्ट विन टेक्नोलॉजी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। हम एक PDO भी हैं और TIP भी हैं। हम आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहते हैं भारत नेट के फाइबर के ऊपर जो है। हम एक्चुअली 300 ग्राम पंचायतों में अपनी सर्विस देने के लिए तैयार हैं, जो ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं।
Sir,
हमने
आपका question क्या है, sir?
हमने 2 महीने में 20 ग्राम पंचायतें कवर की हैं। हम भारत फाइबर की स्थिति बताना चाहते हैं कि 20 ग्राम पंचायतों को कवर करने के लिए हमने 20 किलोमीटर फाइबर डाला हुआ है।
सर, आप कृपया क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए, सर, टाइम नहीं है।
बिल्कुल सर, भारत फाइबर की कंडीशन बहुत खराब है, कहीं नहीं सही है। अगर भारत फाइबर को हम गांव पंचायत तक आप लोग पहुंचा देते हैं या उसका मेंटेनेंस TIP के माध्यम से दे सकते हैं, तो हम PM वानी को एक अलग स्टेज से ले जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम PM वानी ले जाने के अलावा फाइबर नहीं है, हम अपना फाइबर यूज कर रहे हैं।
थैंक यू वेरी मच इंडीड। नाउ
तो
वी नीड
प्लीज
टू
इस
क्लोज
पे हम
द
चाहते हैं कि
सेशन।
इसको
थैंक यू
पहुंचाने
सर। यस सर।
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपने अपना स्टेट नहीं बताया है, किस? उत्तर प्रदेश। तो उत्तर प्रदेश में काम शुरू हो गया है। RVNL हमारा प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी है। 3 इयर्स में इसको पूरा होना है। अभी उत्तर प्रदेश में पुराना फाइबर ख़राब था, इसलिए थोड़ा सा इशू हो रहा है। अगर आपके स्पेसिफिक कुछ प्रायोरिटीज़ हो तो दे सकते हैं। बाकी ग्राम पंचायत तक का फाइबर की जिम्मेदारी PIA की है, और उस ग्राम पंचायत के ऑनवर्ड्स एज अ BNU या TIP आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं। जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि आप ब्लॉक लेवल से लेके अगर अपनी बैंडविड्थ लाके किसी भी ग्राम पंचायत में आप करेंगे तो आपको ये क्या जो डिस्काउंट है वो मिलेगा। देन ओनली यू कैन बिकम स्लाइटली कमर्शियली वाइबल। बाकी ऑफ द लाइन वी कैन डिस्कस इफ यू वांट टू हैव समथिंग।
Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. Though it was the concluding session, but I think one of the very insightful session with some valuable discussions. I would now like to invite Mr. Steve Namasivayam to kindly do the honors of felicitating our dignitaries on the dais with a token of appreciation and remembrance, a small memento. We begin by honoring our chair, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Gupta. If you could kindly present a memento to the chair. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for sparing your valuable time and giving all those valuable advices. To our panelists, Mr. Harmeet Singh Hora. To Mr. Rishi Ghare. To Mr. Srinivas Gudipudi. To Dr. S.N. Gupta. And to Mr. Vivek Narayan. And may I request our panelists to kindly remain seated as I invite Mr. Arun Mukherjee, Senior Director Operations and Convener Wi-Fi Committee, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Steve. So at the end of the day, if I may say so, this has been the most exciting session I feel, in the whole day, and we've saved the best for last. The whole event has been streamed on YouTube, and I'm hoping all the PDOAs and a lot of PDOs are watching this. If not, we will publicize it and request them all to watch it. A lot of questions have been answered over here. I take this opportunity first for the last session to thank Mr. Mukesh Gupta. Sir, I must say, you've made some excellent points. You've talked about collaboration of the government, technology providers, and the wider ecosystem to get things moving. That's, I think, a wonderful point you've made. You've talked about public Wi-Fi being a pillar for digital inclusion. Thank you for that, sir. I think the whole consensus throughout the whole event, people have talked about public Wi-Fi now coming together with the other systems to provide a proper broadband infrastructure layer. I wish to thank all the speakers of this session very much. Mr. Vivek Narayan has always been a great inspiration and a guide in various issues on PM Wani. Dr. S.N. Gupta, who is also the chair of our Rural Digital Initiative Committee. He's been an inspiration always. It's my first interaction with Mr. Rishi Ghare. So thank you, sir, for coming and giving us your valuable inputs. I must say your idea of saying challenges for implementation must have answers too, and for giving the answers. Thank you for that. And Harmeet, thank you for mentioning the friction points. We had a lot of responses from the PDOAs across before the consultation, and I think these friction points was something which was common across all of them. So thank you for bringing that out. I think that was the one person who's actually brought out all these points, a very important point also. And I think the government is looking at this a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. And I would like to thank Srinivas Godipudi very much. He had initially refused to come. He said there was something happening, but he's here today. And I'm very happy because as his experience with Amtron and the Assam government has been appreciated, I was very keen that he shared it because this is a big positive for PM Wani. So thank you to this session. I would like to thank very much all the speakers. Special thanks to Dr. R.S. Sharma for his very passionate address from the heart. Once again, he has pointed out the way forward to us. I would also thank respected Member T, Mr. R.N. Palai, for his address, where he reiterated all the good work the Department of Telecommunications is doing and is going to do on the PM Wani front. It is really something that he's talked about using today's Wi-Fi day to bridge the digital divide in India. Wow. I mean, it was really great of him to say this. We thank him really deeply for that support from him. I would like to thank Steve Namasevam and WBA for their support to the event. Thank you, Steve, for flying in all the way from London and giving us your valuable input and support and talking to a lot of the speakers. I hope people have got some valuable inputs for you, and we need to do a lot more together, please. Thank you. I thank Paramjeet from WFA. He gave us some fantastic inputs on from the Wi-Fi Alliance side on what is happening in the world of Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 8, and a promise for the market to grow in India. We've had a lot of course, I cannot forget our chair, Mr. Manoj Tandon, chair of our Wi-Fi committee. He set the context for the whole event today. So our grateful thanks to him for that. I would like to extend thanks to all the speakers. I think there's been it's been unanimous about the support for Wi-Fi, especially with the TRAI consultation having given such a push to it over here. And as I say, all of these were not just platitudes. We are seeing a swelling tide gathering force with the phenomenal push the government and the regulator are giving Wi-Fi. Our thanks to both of them. I extend BIF's thanks to all the delegates who joined us today in this journey to a Wi-Fi ecosystem, providing an ever more demanding broadband. I thank Bharat Exhibitions. Without whom this event would have been very difficult to organize. They're always a great support. Shashi ji has always been there to back us up, support us in our events. Ranjit Singh deserves a special mention as always. He does a noble job, and his entire team. Thanks to them. Our sponsors, Meta, HFCL, and Qualcomm, we thank them for the support they have given, extended to us. Thank you so much. I would like to thank Sandeep Kathuria in absentia. He's not been able to join us today, but he's given us a lot of inputs in developing the white paper and a lot of topics. So my thanks to the entire BIF team, Debashish, Anil sir, Shubhika, Ashika, Swapnil, especially Mohit, who does the IT work always, and all the support they've given. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. I would also request Brigadier Anil Tandon, Mr. Steve, to kindly join our dignitaries for the group photograph, please. And after this group photograph, we would request all the delegates who have stayed with us till the end to join us on the stage for a group photograph on this very special celebrations of the World Wi-Fi Day, which is being celebrated by Broadband India Forum. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, I once again take this opportunity to thank all our distinguished guests who were present here, especially to those who stayed back till the end of the day with us. Thank you once again. And we look forward to seeing all of you again next year for the same celebrations.